In the late 70s and 80s, railroads were looking for a lighter and higher capacity freight car to transport commodities such as coal. Johnstown, America introduced the AutoFlood aluminum coal hopper to fit the bill in 1984. The AutoFlood hopper was able to manually discharge through the gates like a conventional hopper, but also incorporated rotary couplers for variable disloading. The design proved to be successful as Johnstown would go on to make improvements over the years with the AutoFlood 2 in 1996 and the AutoFlood 3 in 2002. Rapido made the announcement for the AutoFlood 3 coal hopper in May of 2021 and dealers took delivery in September of 2022. The initial release is a very stout lineup with 7 road names, a total of 9 paint schemes, and 128 unique road numbers as well as unnumbered cars to boost the fleet even more. Modelers will be finding themselves trying to build their unit coal trains with either the single pack or 6-pack options. The single cars run for $59.95 MSRP and the 6-packs are just shy of $360. The model that we will be taking a look at today is BNSF 699623. This unit is the special double rotary coupler and is generally used on opposing ends of the unit train such that either end of the train set can go through the rotary dumper. Starting off on the A end of the car, one of the most overwhelming details across the model is the amazing amount of rivet details, and the A end is no different with the rivet details on the end shrouding extending down below the end cage. The end cage is nicely done and appears to be made out of metal grab irons, but is actually molded in a single plastic part. One of the actual metal components on the end cage is the separately applied metal grab iron located in the middle. Behind the end cage is some of the details associated with the MegaFlow discharge gates. The main one of these is the drive actuator sitting in the middle piece. This piece of equipment extends down the shaft into the center beam that unlatches the gates and allows the coal to be unloaded. The drive cylinder is connected to a second auxiliary air receiver. This air tank is connected via some separately applied plastic plumbing and attached to the second trainline air hose. Moving down the car, one of the more standard features is the coupler cut bar with the plastic support piece on the side sill and the metal wire bar connecting to the draft gear. Just above the coupler is the etched metal crossover platform. This separately applied detail looks very nice in its bare metal finish. Rounding out the end of the car, the AutoFlood 3 coal hopper all feature dual trainline air hoses. One of these hoses is connected to the normal trainline air, and the other hose provides air to the MegaFlow drive cylinder. The sides of the car have really nice details as well. The end plastic cages can be seen a little bit better with the molded on details. One of the separately applied components on the side ladder is the corner metal grab irons made from metal wire. The corner grab irons separate the end ladders from the plastic stirrup step that extend below the side still. The dominating feature of the sides are the exterior posts that are riveted to the side body panels. The overall rivet details on the side car body look very nicely done, with the rivets extending up and down the side posts as well as attaching the 2 car body panels, one sheet to another. The rivet details also show the interior slope of the car body on the first few body panels. Looking at some of the smaller molded on details include the AIE tag located on the last full body panel. The cars ride on Barber S2 100-ton trucks with the road name and numbers printed on the side frames. The reason we're taking a look at this car specifically is the double rotary ends. This would feature 2 rotary couplers on either end, and thus each car body panel is painted in the brown paint to designate the rotary coupler. Cars with a single rotary coupler only have one painted body panel to designate the orientation of the rotary coupler. The B end of the car features a slight variation of the details compared to the A end, with the main feature being the separately applied plastic brake wheel and brake wheel chain assembly extending down below the sill of the car. Inside the end cage is the array of braking system components. The main one of these is the air receiver located in the middle of the end cage. The receiver is connected to the brake cylinder just to the side with several separately applied plastic plumbing components running between the two. On the opposite side, nested in the corner, is the triple valve. Other braking system components also include the braking levers located just under the air receiver, as well as the plastic plumbing, all painted black to match the car body paint. To make a special note about the new edition of the Rapido brand scale couplers, these Katy style couplers are closer in style and shape to the classic number 5, but feature molded on ribbing to simulate a scale appearance. Looking down the top of the model, this is where I think some of the best details are on the whole car. The 4 corner posts all have braces to support the top of the car body sides and all have excellent rivet detail. These rivet details extend throughout the interior of the car body and complement the silver metallic paint that gives off a metal-like look. The car has pretty good weight, especially for a car that is seemingly very open, and Rapido accomplished this by having the floor and base of the car made in a die-cast zinc alloy, so no hidden weights are required. This die-cast weight is very finely molded with all the rivet details as well as other smaller molded-on support assemblies. The cast is so well done that it's actually difficult to differentiate between the die-cast floor and the plastic car body sides in terms of fit and finish. The interior of the car also features the internal bracing and 2 of the K-member internal braces in the middle of the car body interior. These braces are molded in plastic and are separately applied. And finally, at the very bottom of the car, some of the discharge gate details can be seen molded into the floor. Flipping the car over gives us a chance to check out some of the details on the bottom of the car that are a little bit difficult to see when rolling down the rails, and gives us a good chance to check out the 36-inch metal wheels. One of the other nicer details to check out is the underbody piping that runs along the sides. The AutoFlood 3s have 2 different airlines to help support normal air pressure for the train braking systems and an additional airline for charging up the discharge gate systems. The discharge gate system has quite a bit of separately applied detail instead of being molded in as one piece. Each discharge gate is separately applied and also features applied details for the door stiffeners as well. All of these are molded in plastic details and match the car body paint. The coal loads are relatively simple and sit on the internal bracing and K-members. The loads sit nice and flush against the car body interior. The underside of the coal loads feature a magnet, and with the included Rapido magic wand can be easily installed or removed. The installation or removal of the loads is so easy that you can actually do it with the train in motion and would be a good benefit to simulating a train going through, say, a flood loader. As mentioned, the cars do come with the new Rapido brand scale couplers, and the coupler heights were compared to the KD height gauge. On the review model, both couplers were found to be at the correct height, and the rest of the hoppers were checked, and the overwhelming majority of the couplers were at the correct height. The weight of the cars were also examined. The car bodies measure in at 6.5 inches, so the NMRA recommended weight is 4.31 ounces or 121 grams. The actual car weight weighed in at 4.95 ounces or 140 grams. The coal load also gives a little bit of extra weight, with the load bringing in to 5.32 ounces or 151 grams. Each wheel was measured for the correct gauge and was found to be within the tolerances. The cars were also knocked over slightly to check the body wobble, and it was found that all the cars did have a slight wobble to them. The truck screws were tightened a little bit to improve the wobble, but the screws were bottoming out on the bottom and couldn't be tightened anymore. For the scoring section, the review will be broken down into several categories, each with its own point total, adding up to 100 possible points. For the packaging, the model comes in a high-quality cardboard box with a soft plastic liner and a hard plastic outer shell for protection. Also included with every car is the Rapido magic wand, as well as a sticker and information packet for getting started, as well as the exploded parts diagram. The accuracy of the model seems to be very well done. I couldn't find an exact photo of this specific car, but other cars in this range all seem to fit very accurately in terms of paint, details, and decals. The color of the paint on the model is a metallic silver to match the prototype's aluminum car body sides, and Rapido captured this look very well. The rest of the colors look to be accurate under layout lighting, as well as the decals are all sharp and legible under magnification. The details on the model are nothing short of expectations from the Rapido name. One of the most standout features is the rivet detail, as mentioned numerous times throughout the review, across the model, and just the overall attention to detail on the smaller details. That being said, there are a few very minor issues with details such as the roller bearing caps. The scale coupler looks more like a standard coupler, and the use of the molded on end cage grab irons instead of wire grab irons all lead to the 1-point loss. The couplers, trucks, and wheels are all up to par with the Rapido scale metal coupler at the correct height for almost every car. The detailed Barber S2 trucks having reporting mark printing, but the lack of rotating roller bearing caps on a $60 model was slightly disheartening. One of the first things you notice when you take this model out of the box is the actual heft and weight to this car. Rapido did a great job at providing solid detail base while keeping good heft in a seemingly empty car. The metal car body floor is probably the best feature on this car for operations. Metal couplers and wheels also help the car, but all the models did suffer a slight wobble problem. The worst thing about this car is the price, and unless you're Bill Gates, you're not going to be buying the full 110 car unit trains at the retail price. These cars are very nice, but overall very expensive, especially with some minor detail issues. I think these cars are great, and I can't wait to get more. I really enjoy the ease of adding and removing the coal loads, and you can just tell this car was produced by people who are model railroaders and built the coal hopper they would want on their layout. Tallying up all the points gives a 96 out of 100 or a solid A rating. This leads the newest Rapido release, tied for 5th place on the recently reviewed models, along with some other heavy hitters. I think these cars are great, and I was really excited to get these cars and will be purchasing more in the future once my wallet recovers. These cars are very expensive, but overall worth the price in my opinion, with the great details like the various riveting details, separately applied details, and the operations of these cars. This is one of the first cars I think I'd rather run empty to show off the great details on the inside instead of adding coal loads, and I think that's something to say about the Rapido name. Let me know what you guys think about these cars, and if you're going to be picking up, and if you think they're worth the hefty price. There's a lot of options for coal hoppers in today's market, and these are no doubt some of the best. But that's all I got for you guys this time. I will go ahead and leave you with one final run-by shot of the Rapido AutoFlood 3 coal hoppers. Comment, rate, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.